Well, there you have it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Mixer presented by Emirates. I am your host, Ali Love. Now, our guest today is very special. She's been in London, Dubai, and Harare. She is here because she's an actress. She's a playwright. She's an activist. Please give it up for Daniil Medvedev. Hi, Daniil.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking time away from the tennis. She's here for the US Open, folks, and she decided to talk to me.
I'm hearing the cheers.
So wait, let's jump right in really quickly.
Yes.
While I have you, big tennis fan. I've seen you here. I've seen the camera find you right in Ash throughout the week. Big tennis fan.
Yeah,
Where does
looking
this
crazy up on my feet, shouting and yelling. Yeah, that's me.
Where did that stem from? You've always been a tennis fan?
I mean, I started to play when I was 10. I've never been good at it, but I've always loved it. It's kind of one of those things, those unrequited love, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember watching my first Wimbledon. This is in Harare, Zimbabwe, where I grew up. And I just got, it was just like a fervor that just grows in you about the sport. I guess people have that from various sports. For me, it's tennis. Like, you know, I'm not fervently into very many sports, but this is my sport.
Any favorite players where you're just like growing up, when you looked, I always say in my house, it was like God and then there was Venus and Serena.
Yes.
Like my mom and I definitely shed a few tears during Serena's swan song. So
Absolutely. Venus and Serena were everything. I mean, it was like I was growing up not seeing them. And then suddenly they were there and it was just like, wow, there was like a reflection of yourself out there doing that. And there's just nothing like that. So, you know, they're legends, they're queens, they're icons. And, you know, yes, it's God and Serena and Venus.
Yes. Oh, hello, Laura, part of the cabin crew.
Wow.
Would you like something?
What's the green?
Vitality drink.
Okay, I'm gonna start with that.
I will follow suit. I will follow suit. Thank you so much.
I want that green later.
You're like, what's the green? You know what? While you did explain it all, I'll have champagne instead. But let's talk about it because you just said something that was really important, is like seeing your reflection, right, with Venus and Serena, and looking at your career. When you think of all the things that you've done and are currently doing and seeing that reflection, you've been that reflection for me and many people of color. Did you always know, though, when you were that kid having that dream, when you were that kid watching tennis and that fervor was growing, did you always know that the possibility of having this impact on folks was available to you?
No. I think what I did know was that the representation or the lack thereof didn't make sense. Why not us? Was what would go through me. Why not? They did, because I could see our value, I could see our worth, I could see our abilities, and I never understood that. It bugged me, it filled me with all types of feelings, you know, and but I never accepted it. I never thought that that was a reality that made sense.
And so when you decided to do acting, like, was it more so like, I'm gonna pursue acting because this is what I love to do, or I'm gonna pursue acting because this is what I know can create change? Like, this visibility that I don't see, I'm gonna be a disruptive because I know it's available.
Acting dragged me in. Like I went into acting kicking and screaming.
Wait a minute, no.
It kind of did, yeah. I was kind of like, I don't know. I wanted to be a social psychologist that created policy through, you know, affecting, you know, social change through like research and impactful stuff that showed that things had to change because look at the impact it's having on society. That was my goal. Like acting kind of kept nudging me that way. And I was like, just had to respond to it. And it was really connected to also creating work at the same time. So the playwriting and the acting sort of came as a package, large part of it for me. And then, you know, as you go into actually becoming a professional, they sort of started to step apart. And then when it dragged me in, I realized my love is storytelling and there is deep value and importance in storytelling.
What was that moment though in acting where you're like, I'm committing to acting. Like I've been putting it off. I've been turning my back a little bit. And it keeps pulling me in. Where was that moment where you're just like, I'm going to surrender?
Yeah, no, I know exactly when it was. It was when I was in South Africa. I was in my junior year of college and I was on study abroad there. And I was actually, of course, in my social psychology major, but I was spending a lot of time with artists who had used their craft to affect social change during apartheid. And learning from them and seeing them do their thing and what they had done at the stakes they'd done it at. This is people getting, like John Kanye and Winston Choma, getting arrested and dragged out after they performed Sizwe Banze is Dead. Like that's the sort of folks you're getting exposed to. And then you're like, what's my excuse? You know, I'm American born. I had a lot more freedoms than they did in terms of stepping into a craft and speaking my mind through it. And they did it. So what was my excuse? And I grew up next door in Zimbabwe. So I knew what they were up against, and they did it through this craft. And that was kind of the moment where I was like, I have no excuse. And so I went headlong in at that moment.
When you're saying like, I have no excuse, when it comes to that daily like grind, when you're just every day, you're in front of the cameras all the time, you're in front of people all the time. Do you have any rituals that you kind of tap into in those moments?
I wish I had more rituals. You know, I wish I was kind of more interesting that way. I mean, I think the thing that I try to do is really like see people, you know, and just, you know, connect to God, connect to love.
Yeah.
You know, when you see people, whoever they are, see them, have a conversation, check in on their humanity and how they're doing. And suddenly your humanity opens up and all your nonsense falls away because you're just being human with one another.
Yeah, I like that you said being human. One last thing, okay? We have this game, it's called Unforced Errors. Now, when you look at someone like you, as I do, you're like, this person is perfect. Tonight's perfect. She got it all together. She knows what to say. She knows how to come down quick, have a little cocktail, get a conversation, and go watch tennis. In Unforced Errors, what can you share a moment where it's like, oh, this was like a goofy moment, or this was like a mistake for me. This was an unforced error.
Oh, I have many unforced errors. I just don't even know. I have to think of what type you mean.
Anyone you want to share? Anything that you're just like, this was kind of quirky or embarrassing?
Oh, I talk to myself. And then sometimes I have to pretend I have an AirPod in.
You're like having a full conversation and you're just like, yeah, okay, I'll ring you later.
Exactly, so you don't look too crazy that day.
Well, that makes me feel good because I talk to myself while people are talking to me. So for example, before you came down here, I'm practicing and we're having a conversation and I'm giving people time to respond. And as they're responding, I'm practicing my lines like this while they're talking to me and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I understand that.
Yes. To close out our segment, we really appreciate your time. We want to get you back to tennis. We want to do a toast to the most. So this toast to the most actually goes out to the incredible tennis being played at the US Open currently right now, but also this incredible shot by Carlos Alcaraz. Y'all check it out. Cheers, thank you so much.
In your life, have you ever seen anything like it? He has seen a lot, and he still shakes his head. What his charge is able to do. And then recover. There's still work to be done. Check this out. Boom! Quick recovery. Good night.
Somebody once said, that's what they came to see.
Niagara, everybody. Fantastic. Is it good?
Yes, it
is. Is it to your liking?
You know, Emirates knows what to do.
All right. Well, there you have it.